Hi, this is Steve Lukather, rocking out on Backbeat, the rock source, with AndreGraziadei.
All music is the same. It's just a new set of lyrics and a new backbeat.
Well, thanks a lot for taking time out of your busy schedule. Busy man.
Happy to do it.
Does life begin at 50, or is it really just a time to be reflective of the past and take stock about the time we have left?
Actually, it's a very relevant question to me in my personal life. Life has begun at 50 for me.
Really?
I was, I don't drink, I don't smoke. I've gotten back into the woodshed to practice. I went through really a lot of bad shit. Divorce, my mother died, lost my childhood home is gone. My sister and I had a bad falling out. And some people in my life that were negative, I had to take away and refocus. I had a son out of the divorce, which was kind of weird, but we're still really good friends, thankfully.
Wait a second, I thought a daughter.
I have a daughter and another son.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
He wasn't around.
Right.
I mean, he's my little parting gift.
Uh-huh.
But I see him every day, and I'm really good friends with my ex, so it's okay. It's very hard to be married to a guy like me who's never home.
Uh-huh. Well, I think musicians in general.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm out tarting around partying and everything like I did when I was 30, you know
right.
what I mean? But, it just shit happens, and it creeps up on you, just like, just my conscious desire to, be healthy again, find my muse, you do this fucking for 35 years. 35 years of Saturday nights every night catch up with you. I mean, 50s, all of a sudden my friends are getting sick and dying, and, I see my own mortality, and then I just realized I didn't feel good, I didn't look good, I wasn't focused, I was miserable, I was unhappy about things in my life, so I just kind of drowned in it in booze and shit. It was affecting my playing and affecting my world. So I said, what if I don't do this? And cigarettes, booze, same day, boom. Day after my birthday a couple of years ago. I just said, fuck this. I said, let me try a month without this shit. And then a month turned into 6 months, turned into a year. I didn't go to rehab or AA.
And you didn't miss it?
No, if anything, the more time I get away from it, the less attractive it is to me at all.
Uh-huh.
It cost me a lot. I mean, I wasn't like brutal. I didn't do anything horrible to anybody. I hurt myself.
Yourself. Yeah.
And I hurt the gift that was been given to me, which is this life and this responsibility to be the best I could be every night. And, I got into meditation and shit. I'm just a different person. I've had to really retool myself. You know what I mean? I said, okay, we're going to hit reset. Boom. Reset at 50, because now, and then I went and got a full checkup after 2 years of being clean of cigarettes and alcohol and anything, and also the way I eat. I don't eat any gluten food. I lost 25 pounds. A puffy poison in my body. And I started running, I started exercising, and, eating, sleeping, organic foods, lots of water. I don't drink sodas. I don't drink anything bad at all. I try to watch how much sugar. I gotta have a chocolate bar once in a while.
You gotta treat yourself once in a while.
Well, then it's like it means something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, I don't beat myself up over it. I've had to go through a lot of forgiveness of myself, and I've reached out to people that maybe I feel I've been uncool with and apologized, trying to make the world right
Making
again.
amends.
Yeah. I'm not, occasionally you hurt people along the way. You don't mean to. Even my ex-wife, both my ex-wives. I got 4 kids now, and I want to be around for the little ones, I was able to raise the older ones, but I still want to be there for them. But my little ones, I'm still dad, I go to the school, and I look younger than some of the dads that are 20 years younger than me. Which is kind of funny. But I tried. I've been painting the hair since I was 25. My mom was gray hair when she was 19. But the hair's real. The color's not, but it never was. So what the fuck, But I'm 50. It's a much better decade. 40 was kind of crazy. A lot of good times, a lot of really dangerous, fucked up things, and rock and roll. It's like you can't do that shit forever. I mean, usually, what's the longevity of being a rock star? I'm a musician.
A lot of people have left this earth at 27, so.
That's a weird thing, and then that's so coincidental. I mean, I can't imagine that there's somebody up there going, okay, you're in the 27 club.
I don't know.
That seems rather bizarre. It's
True.
Really a shame because so many really talented people have left the world way too early. And, it is sort of an unfortunate number, but hey, whatever.
So
I feel great.
Well, you look great. Put it
Thanks.
that way.
Thank you.
You do. You look healthy. You look happy.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be.
Well, you know, it's been a couple of years since I went through the pains of the divorce and all that shit. Now we're friends, and you know, my kids and my work keep making me happy. I'm living, doing what I love doing, and I thank God in this era of people really having a hard time that I'm able to work and people still show up.
Are you at a point now where you're thinking about your bucket list?
Ah! All this old age shit.
Yeah?
Well, you know, it's really true because, I mean, at this point, look at Mike Bacaro. He's got ALS and he's dying.
Yeah, how's he doing?
Not doing well, man.
No?
There's no happy ending to that.
No,
it only gets worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, there is no cure for that. Damn.
No, except watching my brother in agony going, not in pain, but just the pain of not being able to move. When you say right arm move, it doesn't do it. But your brain is still 17 years old. And watch him and his family suffer through that. I love him so much, man. It's just that's hard. And then I see a lot of my friends cancer and, you know, the liver goes, all the things that we did to ourselves when we were 20 come to catch and bite us in the ass when we're 50. Now, I went and got a full physical. I mean, I got reamed out, you know, down the throat, up the ass, lungs checked, you know, all the organs, everything in my body is 100% clean. And I sort of like got a second shot at this. I'm not taking that for granted. I was given a gift for some reason. A lot of really good, positive things have come my way in the last couple of years from me focusing and people knowing that I'm not like this wild, crazy, fucked up dude anymore. It got away from me. I admit it. It got away from me.
So what would be on your bucket list? It's like, what would you like to do that you haven't done yet?
There's a few things that are coming up that I can't really say much about yet because I'm not supposed to, but career-wise that I'm really excited about. And just the fact, you know, just I want to kind of just regain myself in all this, in as far as people's point of view of me. For a while there, I was considered some wild, crazy party man. Oh shit, maybe the guy's lost it or something like that. I want to make sure that that's focused. My bucket list is to watch my little ones grow up and be there for them. And there's not a whole lot, man. I've done a lot of cool stuff. Seen the world. I mean, there's a few places in the world I'd love to see. You know, some of the more tropical places. But, you know, I got to take advantage of the time that I have to work and, you know, stockpile a little bit of money away for when I get older, you know?
True.
I'm never going to be able to stop. I'm going to be paying child support until I'm 71 years old, so I'll be shuffling through the airport for quite some time now. Fortunately, I love my job. But, you know, jumping out of an airplane and shit like that, it's just, you know, like all that thrill-seeking shit, like that's a young man's game, man. I got no desire.
Yeah, so what about...
Find love again. That would be a bucket list. To find, like, a woman love. If I could find that again, that would be cool. But really, just to be healthy, I can't think of, geez, if I only did this, then my life would be complete. I've had a pretty cool life. I've done a lot of really cool things. I have had time to reflect.
Yeah.
My last birthday, I was sitting around going, God, I'm 54 years old. Fuck. I'm way closer to 60 than 20. And how much more time, how many more summers do I have? Really? And you start to think like this.
You can say how many more Christmases. Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean? Really?
Yeah, pretty much.
And you know, now I blink an eye and a year's gone by. I can't believe a year's gone by.
Well, it's been 2 years since I met you.
Yeah.
But last time. So, I mean, I don't believe it.
It happens.
So, this is, I think, your most personal album.
Yeah, well, you can read. It's all right there.
It's all right there.
It's painfully honest.
The tracks are so personal and revealing. I mean, you serve up your heart and soul as an open book on a platter, naked to the world.
The only way to deal with life is to be honest about it.
Yeah. Do you have...
And I've asked for forgiveness in the last couple of years. I've admitted my flaws, and it's, you know, sloppy, drunk playing, and stuff that I'm ashamed of, but I have to view it, and people make fun of me and kick me down when I'm down. You know, I said, okay, maybe I deserve that. But, okay, enough already. You know what I mean? A couple of years. Okay, you had your way with me. Let me try to... Give me another shot. You know what I mean?
So, these songs being so upfront and personal, do you have a problem maybe performing them live? I mean, I think of Clapton. He doesn't play Tears in Heaven anymore live, as far as I know.
You know, that's a tough one for him, you know?
Yeah, sure it is.
You know, I could, you know, if you write a song about your son dying, especially the way that happened, you know, I mean, I can see that being a real sensitive spot. You know, I do some instrumental parts of Don't Say It's Over. That one hurt because that was the breakup of my marriage, you know, but I look at it now like it was a snapshot in time, you know, and you know, I have another album to write now in February. I start, so I'm starting to think about, well, I've come through the tunnel. I'm not all the way through it, but there's light, and it's not a train coming at me. You know what I mean? You know, so it's like, okay, you know, self-forgiving. We'll see how it comes out.
So maybe this one will be a bit more on the positive side of life.
You know, yeah. I'm hoping so. Like I said, a lot of interesting things.
Speaking of the book, how's the work on your rock bio coming along?
Well, I put that on hold.
Oh, really?
It's funny because I just did this thing for the Grammy Museum. They had me as it was like Great Guitar Week or whatever. Steve Cropper did it, Jeff Beck did it, I did one night, Lee Ritenour did it one night. And there was like 200 people crammed into this place where I taught. It was like actor's studio where Scott Goldman, the head of the Grammy thing there, he would do a Q&A with me, and I didn't know what it was. I mean, we just sat much like we're doing right here, but he went back into my childhood, like he did homework and stuff. I was like, oh, okay. And I told funny stories through my, interesting stories about some of the famous people that I've worked with. He says, dude, you got to write a book. I said, yeah, I want there to be a happy ending to it, or at least cruising into the sunset, not out away forever, but I'm coming through it. I wanted to wait, and I've been offered. I have new management, and they have a book thing. And William Morris, they think that I'd be good. They saw my whole thing and said, "Oh, you got to do this."
Right.
I have a pretty big story, and the thing is, that's when you start thinking reflection. I start going, well, that was 20 years ago. No, that was 30 years. No, that was 35 years ago. That's when you really start going, wow. Or people post all these pictures of me, like during the first Toto record and stuff like that. They find these photos and put it on Facebook. You just go, fuck, I look like I'm 10 years old.
It doesn't even look like you. If I look at you today and I look at you then, I think that's a completely different person.
It is a completely different person. I was a little kid.
Yeah.
So like trying to find my way through life, And funny thing is, there are a few regrets, but a lot of it was a lot of fun. I'd be lying to you if I told you some of the crazy shit that I did with some of the crazy people that I did it with wasn't fun. But then there's a point where it ceases to be fun, and then it's just like reckless. And then you're just asking for a punch in the face. Mm-hmm. You either get well or you die, I was fortunate to be born with a very strong constitution, so I didn't hurt myself as bad as I probably should have.
Have you always been a skeptical man, or has the media driven you to be weary of everything?
Media has driven me. I mean, I was beat up from day one. Coming out of the shoot, we were the band to hate. We were the people to hate. Now it's interesting, 35 years later, now it's turned completely the other way around, where people go, wow, you've been around for 35 years. I mean, you've got a lot of respect for you. Even people that don't like the music go like, well, he's been in this game a long time. He's done a lot of big legendary records and, maintained a career. I've never stopped. I never had like a point where I was like, geez, I wish I was working. That's why I went by so fast, because I never stopped. I've always got a million things going at once. It was costly in my personal life, but my professional life, I managed to withstand it even when I was in my darkest times. I was able to, in the studio, I was always on the case. It was just sometimes the road, being away from home and being unhappy. It was like the green light was on all the time. There was nobody policing me, so I just kind of let it. It creeps up, and all of a sudden one day you realize you're this bloated asshole, and you got to do something about it. So I'm much better now. But yeah, I have a lot. The book will come. I don't know exactly when. Maybe 5 years. I've been working, so I'm booked up through 2014 right now.
Well, I suppose that pretty much handles your money worries, if that's being that considered.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I had all the trappings. You know what I mean? I had a Ferrari when I was 25.
Right.
Houses and shit. I lost millions, made them, lost them. Divorce. That's expensive. But I've scaled my life down to the point where it's like I got a nice house in the hills. There's nothing,
What more do you need?
I live alone. Except my kids come over all the time. And I'm a simple life. I don't spend a lot of money on myself. I mean, look at the way I dress. I mean, I'm not dressed in diamonds and shit like that. I think that's a young man's game. Either that or an old guy who's trying to chase his youth, who missed his youth. I had my youth.
Right.
I did everything that a young man should do. Whether it be, see the world, have fast cars, fast women,
Well, you were fortunate.
Crazy, and gone out and played in front of 100,000 people. Go, it's like that's a trippy life,
Yeah, fortunate.
Made money, lost money, made money, and now I keep it very. This is all I need. I don't need all this ridiculous look at me shit. Look at me. I'm not really that guy.
Back down to reality.
I'm a real humble, thankful person at this point. I don't think I'm all that. Like, who's the fastest gun in the West and all that shit. That's a young man's game, man. I'm like, I'll be the old guy.
Gladly.
Nobody wants to beat up an old man. I mean, aren't you tired of picking on me and my band Toto? Come on, really. If you don't like it, funny. But everybody gets drunk at a party and fucking sings Africa. Even the people that fucking hate us know the song. So it's kind of funny.
Part of popular culture.
We're in we get made fun of. I was a South Park character. I've been on all the cartoon shows. I laugh at this stuff. I think it's fantastic. Toto Shreds and all these people, the yacht rock thing. I think it's fucking brilliant. I love it. Make fun of me like that. That's not mean-spirited.
Humorous.
Yeah, that's not mean. That's not you suck. I wish you died, motherfucker. You the worst thing ever. Fuck off. That's just mean. Or people point out your flaws, but the internet, they make the way you look, or they go back and they find these. Look at 1 minute and 48 seconds. He makes a bad mistake, plays a bad note, or so what? I sing a lot of tune. I play a lot of tune. I'm a human being. I'm not a fucking machine.
Now, going back and listening to your last two albums, it's nice to listen to material that has not been affected by too much studio overkill and effects. No, I like that. I think keeping it pure and down to earth is much more appealing. Now, whose idea was it to go down this path?
Mine. I know where I'm going. I know I like to work with real musicians in this scenario, but I use technology as opposed to using it as an excuse. It's really nice to have an endless. I do overproduce my records. I make big sounding records.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to apologize for that. I think Pink Floyd and Elton John, Yellow Brick Road, Dark Side of the Moon, all these huge, massively produced records that I grew up listening to affected the way I make records now, and I like that. But then I could scale it down and play a 4-piece and play the same songs, not the exact same, every little thing polished away or anything like that. I'd like to keep it a little bit real. But there's a certain standard that is expected of me, and I like to deliver that. People say that my music is slick. It's like, it's so funny to say that because so many of the machine-made records, like they think Lady Gaga is like, oh, this is great. And nothing against her. I'm pulling that one out because she's popular. She's very talented, but her records are slick. They're all machine, put on the grid and auto-tuned and everything like that. Not so much her, but all that dance music and popular music now, they're all Pro Tool to death. And we sat in a room and played music together. That's what we sound like when we play in a room together. People think that's slick and soulless. I don't know how much more soulless you can get than fixing every imperfection to perfection. They got plugins now that can take an out-of-tune guitar. If your G string is sharp, it'll just tune the G string. Now the playing field is like any idiot can make a record and do.
I think what you just mentioned, I just view that as professional. Period.
I think that's how it started. People go, how come the records from the 60s sound so great or whatever? It's because the people sat in the room and played it.
That's right. That's right.
The Beatles made their first album in 2 days. You know what I mean? All those hit records, Motown records, they make it on Friday and by Tuesday it's on the radio. Mm-hmm. At the end of the take, they go listen to the take. That's the record. Print it. Out. Next.
That's the way it should be.
That's the way, in many ways. Then we got into the... as technology grew and people heard these wild records, how did they do this? And they, you wanted to open that all up. It's a catch-22. It's great and it's bad at the same time.
You've produced your last two albums with Steve McMillan. Now, what made you decide to keep him for the next project?
We kind of have a bit of falling out. He just kind of, he was under a lot of pressure, kind of cracked. Oh. So I brought in my buddy C.J. Vanson to finish the record with me. But, Steve's great. I have nothing but great things to say about him. He's a very talented guy. And we worked well together. I'm going to do the next album, CJ and I, because we wrote a lot of stuff together and it just worked great that way. And he has the same work ethic. He likes to work fast and make decisions and move on. I don't have the luxury of spending 8 months on a record. Or the budget,
Don't chew it to death.
Well, yeah. When we get in there and we flush out an idea, within 2 days, that song's done. Next, okay, let's do. I want to stay and try that. So that really means within a month's time, I have a pretty much finished record. I also don't believe in putting 17 songs on a record. Who has the attention span? But
I think a lot of it is fill, anyways.
Yeah, just because for what? You make a statement when you think the statement is done, and you put it out. As long as it's like. Albums were only 40 minutes at the most, 38 for the most part. Mm-hmm. Now you put another 30 minutes on there, you're gonna start. I don't care if you're the biggest fan in the world, but 3 hours of anything isn't too much.
On the opener, the first track on the album, "Darkness in My World," I was listening to it, and I thought the opening has this feeling of this Vangelis from the Blade Runner movie. just the opening.
It was very cinematic.
Was that intentional?
It was very cinematic. CJ kind of came up with that part. I wanted maybe kind of a little bit more industrial Peter Gabriel-esque.
Uh-huh.
There's actually an SOS, like that. It's an SOS.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I picked up on that, yeah.
It's Morse code.
Yeah.
This is help. It's like, fucking help me, I'm fucking dying here. because I was really beat down emotionally making that record. CJ was like, he'd look at me, he goes, dude, are you all right? I go, no, I'm not all right. Chunks of my hair were falling out from the stress, and it was just brutal, man. I was like weighing about that much. I was gaunt, you know what I mean? It wasn't like I lost weight and I was healthy. I looked like I was dying on the inside, and I was.
So this was your therapy?
Yeah, I mean, it was cathartic, you know, get this out of me and be, you know, I wrote most of the lyrics all myself, with the exception of 2 songs. And so, I mean, it was the first time I'd ever done that. So that's really me speaking about me and singing how I feel. So those emotions are real. And it connected with a lot of people. A lot of people said, man, I can totally relate to that, you know. Because everybody has dark times in their life. I mean, you know, what are we going to write about? You know, let's go get a fast car and fuck a chick. I mean, you know, that's maybe when you're 19 you write lyrics like that. But I kind of lived life a little bit more. So I wanted to write something that wasn't, you know, and I look at the world, how my world views it. What the fuck happened, you know? It was so promising, and then it went dark.
On My Way Home, your traditional Steely Dan tribute track.
Of course, I love the Dan.
About life on the road and void.
I wrote that in Osaka, actually. It was in a hotel room. I was playing with Robin Ford, Daryl Jones, Bill Evans, Randy Brecker, and Rodney Holmes. We were doing like an all-star thing, and I was just... this record was... You know, already the tracks had been cut. That track, I was writing lyrics, and my ex was giving me all kinds of grief over the phone. We were still married at the time. And I was just writing down my feelings in real time.
So what's your ritual? What do you do when you come back home from the road?
I just basically, you know...
What's the first thing you do when you get home?
My little kids are there. All my kids show up. My dog's there. And, you know, I usually just kind of like hit the fireplace, you know, sit around with family and shoot the shit, tell them stories of the road, and love on the little ones, you know, play with them, and then I just kind of crash out and relax, you know.
Don't say it's over.
Yeah.
A real heartstring tugger.
Yeah, it's all real. That's what I was going through. Trying to hang on to something that wasn't there, and it's a very painful song.
Can't look back. The solo in the middle of it came about from messing around. Now, how often does that figure in your work?
Well, my son was standing behind me when I was warming up.
Yeah.
I said I was going to do a solo for that song that day, and I'm just noodling, and they ran a pass by, and everybody's laughing, going, "That's brilliant! You should do that." I go, "Oh, that's everything that I don't want to be doing right now." And they said, just do a couple. McMillan goes, do a couple more passes like that. And let me see if I can put something together. So I did, and I came back the next day, and he put one together, and I just started laughing. I go, you got to be kidding me. That's ridiculous. And Phil Collins from Def Leppard was there, because he's a buddy of mine. He sang background. Him and CJ came back. I go, guys, you think this is ridiculous or what? And Phil's like, no, you got to keep that. That's great. So that was my shred solo, if there is one.
See, for you, it's a throwaway. For other people, it's like, wow.
Well, I'm kind of making an effort not to be that guy, because there are guys that do it better. And that was one of the big criticisms of people beating me up when I was fucked up. It's like, nah, he's just playing too much, noodling, playing bullshit. You know? And I have to agree with him to a certain point. And I just didn't want. I wanted to get back into playing a little bit more meaningful, less flashy. But yeah, every once in a while, there's one for the guitar heads.
Tumescent.
Oh, that was written in the studio with the band. We just kind of jammed.
That's what I thought. That was a jam.
Yeah, we jammed. We put little pieces down in the Pro Tools, and then we went in and we said, that part's good. Let's put that. And then we arranged it on there, figured it out, and then learned it and played it for real. So it was really, we used the Pro Tools as a writing tool. We just take everybody. I said, everybody gets to write a section. What's your section? As long as it's in this tempo. And we just jam and say, okay, let's keep that right. Let's play 16 bars of that, and we'll just record that, put it there, and then we went and took files and we started cutting and pasting, and then we had this tune. Then we went out and learned it for real and played it live.
Could you picture yourself taking part in an air guitar contest?
I've been doing it for 35 years. Unfortunately, the guitar's on.
Because I asked that question to Steve Wilson of Porcupine Tree, and he said his answer was complete rubbish.
He said complete rubbish?
Complete rubbish. It just
I've never seen it.
It doesn't make any sense, because if you think of Guitar Hero, he thinks it's ridiculous. If people spent more time learning proper way to play guitar, the music business would be in better shape.
I have to agree with them 100%. Great band, by the way.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, if you're getting if Guitar Hero would have had the proper things on the neck, you'd actually learn how to play the instrument. But they real guitar. I can't do it. I remember Slash telling me, he goes, he got it because all the sons have all the games. And and he had Sweet Child of Mine, and he said I had to spend a whole weekend trying to play this fucking thing, and I wrote it. So it's nonsensical to a real guitar player.
Yep.
It's like why don't you set it up to where you'd actually at the end of the effort you might actually be able to play the fucking thing. Mm-hmm. You just move the lights in a different place, so you make it so your fingers would actually go there. That's the right notes on a guitar. Why didn't they do that? It's moronic.
It's silly.
It's like you're teaching someone an exercise that will give them nothing at the end of it.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to be 50 in 2 years. Any advice?
Have a good time, man. Because, after 50, the warranty's up.
Yeah, you're probably right.
That's why all my friends say that. They go, shit, man. When you wake up in the morning, you're like, that's why it's better now to not wake up with a hangover. And I just go, I feel pretty good. I may be a little creaky for the first 5 minutes, stretch up, but I'm doing all these, like, almost yoga-type exercises and shit like that. So I'm pretty I'm a pretty limber guy. If that's flat, knees locked,
You're a limber guy now.
Not bad for a guy 54 years old.
Yes, well, Steve, thanks a lot.
Thank you, buddy.